season, and it continues here to Dodger Stadium, where they open a 10-game homestand, the first one of the second half with the Braves in town. And how about the second half opening road trip? That big night on Friday night in Miami. Yasiel Puig with the late inning heroics. And then a day later, Cody Bellinger hitting for the cycle. They sweep Miami, continue the trip on to Chicago, and continued their winning ways, winning a 1-0 game in the opener, riding the long ball to the win last night. And we say welcome inside Joe Davis or Hershiser. Kelly Tennant joins us in just a moment, trying to win a 12th in a row, and there are so many ways to break down what they're doing right now. Let's keep it simple. If they win 12 in a row, it'd be the first time since 1976 the Dodgers will have done that.
Yeah, and you can't really pick a name, Joe. You've got to just look at the whole team. The offense, they get one run in the Kershaw start. It was enough because of Kershaw. The rest of the pitching staff in the 11-game winning streak, only 22 runs given up, and the offense at times doesn't need that kind of pitching because they can score in bunches.
Chris Taylor, 7 hits in the 2 games in Chicago, and in the second half he has the #1 batting average in baseball.
And he's been absolutely fantastic. Another one of the young kids that's making a huge impact here. Just over 6 foot and about 200 pounds, and he has put some punch into his swing. 11 home runs, and I would think if he continues on this kind of pace through next year, he might be another Dodger All-Star.
There is a roster move for these Dodgers, and for that, here is Kelly.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, the Dodgers making a change to their pitching staff. They DFA'd Sergio Romo to make room for Grant Dayton, who's coming off the DL. He was dealing with some neck stiffness. Dave Roberts telling me earlier today it was definitely a very difficult decision to make. Sergio Romo, such a professional guy, has done so much in his career, but with the depth of the bullpen, they felt like having Grant Dayton back, they had to make this move.
And they do in front of this 4-game series with the Atlanta Braves. Brandon McCarthy takes the ball, trying to discover or rediscover his form from the first couple of months of this season. First pitch coming up. At LA is brought to you by Mazda. Driving matters. It is good to be home. The Dodgers have won 18 of their last 19 games, and overall an 11-game winning streak, the longest in the majors this season, as Cody Bellinger and the Dodgers get ready to open a series with the Atlanta Braves. Here is their starting lineup for this series opener, brought to you by Honda. Ender Inciarte, their leadoff hitter. Then Brandon Phillips hitting second, the longtime Cincinnati Red, now in his first year in Atlanta. Southern California native Freddie Freeman battling an illness right now, but still in the lineup hitting third. Matt Kemp, the former Dodger, in left. Matt Adams at first. Nick Markakis in right hitting sixth. Kurt Suzuki has some Southern California roots as well in Cal State Fullerton. Johan Camargo, the 8-hitter. Brandon McCarthy got off to such a good start this year. He had a 2.87 ERA in mid-June. That was one of the best in the National League, and trying to get back on track. His last few times, his ERA closer to 6.
A couple of glitches in the delivery and some tendonitis in the knee. He's had a couple of side works in between starts since Miami, and feels like he's ironing out some mechanical issues, trying to find some rhythm between the lower half and the upper half. And I think the key for him and his success, of course, is getting off to a hot start, building that confidence in the changes that he's making so that he can be more consistent. We know when he's throwing the ball well, we've seen it in the short term and in the long term, that he can be a very dominant pitcher.
And he said, and you mentioned it in those side sessions, he feels like it's more mechanical right now than it is, in his words, a mental glitch, whatever you want to call it. The yips, the thing, he calls it a mental glitch. He thinks he's beyond that. Right now it is a mechanical thing that he hopes he's sorted out over the last few days coming into this one. Now the Braves started the second half by sweeping Arizona. People were getting fired up in Atlanta, but then took a step back, getting swept by the Cubs to open this week. Dodgers riding the 11-game winning streak into this homestand, and off we go with ball one a little bit low. 11 wins in a row, 31 wins in their last 35 games. McCarthy to Inciarte. A hot shot into center, and that's how the series begins.
Second baseman number 4, Brandon Phillips.
Inciarte has been very hot for this Atlanta team. Picks on a high fastball, just hits it right back from where it came.
And on a 78-degree night, the leadoff man on for Atlanta, and up comes Brandon Phillips. He's been red hot in the second half, 10 for 20 with a pair of doubles and a home run. Swings at the first pitch and hits it foul.
He has been very hot. If you use the second half as a landmark in the All-Star break, it's not a big sample size, but it's a nice sample size, and Chris Taylor's at the top of that heap, and then Brandon Phillips is right up there near the top as far as top hitters in baseball since that All-Star break.
Atlanta overall offensively right around league average this year, but struggled against the Cubs this week. Only 6 runs in those 3 games in a sweep. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now they were even talking about, holy cow, all of a sudden this is maybe a wild card contender a year or 2 ahead of schedule under the manager Brian Snitker. But it's amazing how quickly you can kind of fall back to reality, and that's what the Cubs series has done to them.
A lot of veterans that they just have on a short-term basis and trying to make a pop there in Atlanta with the new stadium, and it is working, but maybe not quite good enough to really be playoff bound.
Got no chance in the division. 11.5 back of the Nationals. Right now in the wild card race, they're 8.5 back. Inciarte at first to start the game, and a 1-1 pitch has him running. This will keep him out of the double play, and Justin Turner throws Phillips out.
Third baseman number 5, Freddie Freeman.
So Brandon McCarthy, only his second career start against Atlanta. Made one when he was with Arizona back in 2014. Now in his third season with the Dodgers, and finally staying relatively healthy after the Tommy John surgery really robbed him of his first 2 years. Ready to work against Freddie Freeman.
You mentioned earlier on that Freddie Freeman really feeling under the weather, but felt like against these hot Dodgers he couldn't abandon his teammates. He needed to be in there.
Yeah, they pulled him out mid-game yesterday. They played a day game in Atlanta. Made 2 at-bats, and then out he came feeling miserable. Doesn't feel a whole lot better now, but well enough to be in there.
Sometimes it relieves the expectations of a big night, and all of a sudden you just kind of go out there and know I've got to maintain my energy. I've got to do a little bit of a low-key performance here, but hopefully I'll get some hits, and all of a sudden you might catch fire.
Now Kemp flashing a smile in the on-deck circle. Freeman pulls a base hit to right field. On the first pitch that he sees from McCarthy, he singles home Inciarte, and the Braves lead at 1-0.
Freddie Freeman might think that he doesn't have enough energy to swing the bat an awful lot tonight, so picks on the very first pitch, a curved ball, just kind of getting it over, get a strike. McCarthy executed very well, got a ground ball, just found a hole.
Lukewarm cheer for Kemp, who is having a nice season for Atlanta. Now lately not as good, but overall this number is pretty darn impressive.
It was nice to hear some of the reports from the Atlanta personnel about him kind of turning around his work ethic since he's been in Atlanta. Getting himself in better shape, being a little bit more dedicated to hitting the ball to right center, with hitting coach Kevin Seitzer working hard on that to turn his performance around.
Of course, spent 9 years with the Dodgers, 2006 through 2014. Fantastic start this year, and then battling some hamstring issues lately, and those numbers have dropped like that curveball does to make it 0-2. And the hamstring issues are something that have plagued him over the last several years. A ton of different injury problems. He went from being an MVP candidate in 2011, one of the best young players in the game, to just a really big contract mostly. Takes this one low, and it's 1-2. And so the Padres shipped him off to Atlanta, eating a lot of that salary. But he's rediscovered things, like you mentioned, working with that Atlanta hitting staff.
The Padre experiment did not work with Justin Upton and Will Myers and Matt Kemp out there in the outfield. They unloaded that outfield.
Freeman runs, and it's grounded foul.
There's a lot of big names on this Atlanta team. You know, you just read down the roster and you go, wow, okay, he has a resume. He's got a resume. He's had success. And you can see how they can sneak up on people every once in a while if they all kind of get it together.
Two and two. Since early June, they have the second best record in the National League behind the Dodgers, 23-18. And so even though there's still 3 games below 500 and probably not going to be a postseason team this year, this is considered a good year for them when you match it against the expectations people had coming in. That's an opposite field base hit for Kemp. Third one of this first inning already for Atlanta. Freeman headed for third, and Puig's throw is not in time.
It's an excellent read by Freddie Freeman. You don't really expect him to run if you've heard the health report. Matt Kemp using right center, as we said, he has worked very hard on to use that part of the field and bring up his average, and Yasiel just kind of got that one caught in the back of his stance. No momentum for the throw. Strong enough and accurate enough, just not on time.
At the corners, one out. Here's Matt Adams. the newest Brave. He goes after the first pitch, sends a high fly ball to left. Chris Taylor watches it bounce into the seats. And the Braves attacking McCarthy early. Second and third already, 2 in the bank and just 1 out.
Some are hit hard and some are just hit in the right place. This one's slicing away. Matt Adams with a 4-for-8 history off of Brandon McCarthy. Gets his 5th hit and 9 at-bats there.
So 4 out of the first 5 with hits against McCarthy. And now it's Nick Markakis, who has homered against him twice. Ball 1. Markakis, a veteran, one of those names you're talking about, and you look at the lineup and say, wow, so he's there. And he's been there a couple years now. "33 years old in his 12th major league season, has always gone about his business so quietly but so solidly."
Real close to 2,000 hits now. I was studying up on the Braves and felt old when I thought Nick Markakis is close to 2,000 hits. I think he's like 13 away.
Yeah.
Not as much pop as when he broke in and went through some tough injury years there in Baltimore, but he is a grinder. He's a guy that you really admire the way he goes about his business.
1 and 2. His manager, Brian Snitker, to your point there, he described him as a boring pro. Mr. Steady, he called him.
Earlier in his career, a little more energy, kind of wore his emotions on his sleeve, like a gym rat, just always grinding it out, but now looking a little bit more like the professional that you think Logan Forsythe is, or a Chase Utley, a little bit more subdued in his approach, but still grinding it out.
3rd year in Atlanta, first 9 years in Baltimore. Batting with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. And taking ball 2. The injury you mentioned that really kind of changed him as a player, that was a neck surgery that he had in 2014, and slow recovery from that. It's never fully recovered the power numbers. McCarthy could really use a strikeout.
Now Brandon, with the invention of the cutter, has really cut down his damage that left-handed hitters have been able to do against him. So doesn't feel naked anymore when he sees lefties up there where he would have to default to the sinker away if it was a fastball. Now with that cutter, he's got the fastball that moves in 2 directions. Helped him with weak contact and whiff percentage.
Here he comes with another 2-2. And just misses with a 4-seam, full count. Well, a walk here wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. The catcher Kurt Suzuki do next, so it set up a force everywhere. Payoff. A pop-up. That's just as good as a strikeout in this situation. Corey Seager's got it, 2 away.
Excellent pitch. 3-2 cutter on the hands. Most left-handed hitters in that situation are looking for the ball middle away, and then when the ball ends up cutting in, kind of jams him, so he's got to pull his hands in quick. It's that pop-up.
And a chance to hold the Braves to 2 here in the first inning if he can get Kurt Suzuki, who's splitting the catching duties this season with Tyler Flowers, giving him a really nice tandem behind the plate. Second and third with 2 gone. The first one outside, ball 1. Suzuki in his 11th year now. He's kind of borderline in that group you're talking about, and names you look at and say, oh yeah, recognize it. didn't necessarily realize he was a Brave. Oakland, Washington, Minnesota, now Atlanta. Another pop-up, and McCarthy is going to hold the Braves to 2 in an inning where there were plenty of bullets shot all over the place to put 2 on the board for the Braves. The Dodgers come to bat for the first time when you come back. Try and make it. Chase Utley to lead it off. It's presented to you by Honda. Seager, Turner, Bellinger, 2, 3, and 4 per usual. Chris Taylor hits 5th and starts in left. Grandal catches. Peterson in center and Puig in right. Mike Foltynewicz, 25 years old, already in his 4th year with Major League time, and he is having by far his best season.
He has a big arm, and it's about off-speed stuff and locating the fastball. And you think with a guy who averages at 95 miles an hour would be about keeping the ball up. Well, he gets hit in the upper third of the strike zone. When he keeps the ball down is when he has the most effectiveness.
Atlanta's won each of his last 7 games started. And he begins his night with a ball low on Utley. Chase getting the start at the top of the order and at second base. Logan Forsythe with the day off. The Braves glad they only have to see Chase Utley twice a year now. Probably plenty sick of him in his days in Philadelphia playing in the same division. On 2-0. He takes a strike, 2-1. Last National League team to win back-to-back pennants. Chase Utley's Philadelphia Phillies. 2008, 2009. On the ground to first, that's Matt Adams. That's out number 1.
Shortstop, number 5. Seager.
Foltynewicz got blown up twice this year. Gave up 7 runs in a game against St. Louis in early May. Gave up 8 runs against the Nationals in mid-June. But other than that, he's got an ERA around 2.5.
You see, when someone has an average fastball of 95, he's touched 100 twice this year. That's impressive velocity.
Strike 1 on Corey Seager. 98 there.
And for him, it is definitely about location. The talent is in that body. 6'4", 200 pounds, a tall drink of water, a great lever system.
Seager hits a fly ball the other way that sends Matt Kemp back. Corey Seager knocks it off the wall. It ricochets away from Kemp. He'll hold on at second with a 1-out double. He is locked in right now. Homered in the other way last night. Here, he's going to double off the wall.
Saw Chase Utley get all cheese, and he picks on one that he sees right down there by the knees. And you don't see Corey overswing. He uses the left field portion of the field almost better than any left-handed hitter that I know. Boy, would he tear up something in Boston there at Fenway.
Geez.
He would pepper that wall if he played there.
Don't get any ideas, Boston.
No.
Dave Dombrowski. The leading hitter in baseball, Justin Turner, looks at strike one. He's reached in 16 straight now, and it's not just been the average. The on-base percentage also leads all of baseball. Seager at second with one out. The 0-1. Outside for a ball. Two hits and a walk last night in the 9-1 win at Chicago. Dodgers arrived in Los Angeles at about 3:30 this morning. 1-2.
Batting practice was optional today. It seemed like everybody was on their own. You saw the different workouts happening in the outfield pregame. Guys working with the trainers individually and getting their legs under them. And a few things as a group, but it seemed like it was a little bit more relaxed day pregame.
It is a lot easier to come back and play the next night, I would imagine. When you've won 11 in a row, 31-35, that quick wake up after the early arrival, quite as difficult.
There is a buzz to wanting to go to the ballpark, and like those sleepless nights before a big game when you're on this kind of a streak. Boy, it just feels like the game can't come soon enough.
It's amazing to contrast that with the other side, like the Dodgers just saw in Chicago with the White Sox, the worst record in the American League, what their day-to-day grind feels like versus what the day-to-day grind the Dodgers are going through feels like. Seager at second with one out, and a payoff to Turner. He walks.
If you have a job you love, you haven't worked a day in your life, and that's what the Dodgers are going through right now. It's not coming to work, that's for sure.
2 on with one out, and here comes Cody Bellinger. Been a couple times now this season where we've seen Bellinger go into somewhat of a prolonged slump and then come out on the other side of it. Hitting around 400 over the last week plus. I guess you extend that farther because of the break. So over the last couple weeks. Lines a base hit to center. Seager gets the wave. He'll score. Bellinger promptly puts the Dodgers on the board.
Whether Cody Bellinger has been hot or when he's had a few cold spells, he is still always confident and aggressive. And right there on the very first pitch, picks on a little slider and stays right with it. Doesn't try and do too much with it. Hits it to the left side of the field on a line.
So a 2-1 game, still only one out. And here's Taylor. Ball one. Top hitter in baseball since the All-Star break, above 500. A 4-hit night Tuesday. A 3-hit night last night. Didn't have an opportunity to, but had he come up again, he would have been trying for the cycle. Needed a triple. 2-0.
It felt like last night when they canceled the game that it was almost like a mercy rule. We don't want to let the Dodgers come up to bat anymore. Let's just end this and let them get on the plane, get out of Chicago. We've had enough of you.
White Sox, white flag. A 2-0. High fly ball to center field. Inciarte's under it. And Taylor was as well. Runners tagging. Here's the throw. Turner with a headlong dive, safe.
Well, you know Cody Bellinger's going to make it to second. Justin Turner is with the one with the read right here, and he says, let's take a chance. I can make it. You don't want to make the third out at third, and he doesn't. Gets two guys into scoring position. Base hit now gives the Dodgers the lead. Of
course, all the talk this week around baseball about head-first slides with Chris Bryant injuring his pinky. You always hold your breath a little bit. Turner appears to be just fine. Here's Grandal. First pitch breaking ball for a strike. Host of Dodger Talk, David Vassegh, reported today that Yasmani Grandal this morning had a root canal. Hours later, he's in the lineup and catching, no less. 0-2.
I wonder if it came on the plane flight. That would be agonizing. Hopefully it was just very little pain or a lot of pain in the short term that he just got it taken care of.
A plane ride would definitely let you know you'd need it.
Oh,
the pressure.
Yeah.
Boltonevich trying to limit the first inning damage. Grandal shoots one to left center field. Kemp is there, and the inning is over. Dodgers with a promising start, some hard hit balls. They get a run, and it's 2-1. Planner over Performance Spotlight. Best 35-game stretches in baseball history. The Dodgers right now tied for the second best. 1906 Cubs, which hold a National League record still with 116 wins that season, had a 33-2 stretch. So the Dodgers right there with the 77 Royals, the last team to have this good of a run.
It's jaw-dropping, and to experience it, to watch it, to be a fan of this team right now, you just are experiencing something that's almost once in a lifetime, and you just hope it continues.
If it does at the pace that it's on now, and again, we're not saying it's going to. Nobody expects this pace to keep up, but they're on pace for 113 wins. Johan Camargo leads off this inning and takes a strike. That would be the most wins since that 1906 Cubs team won 116, at least in the National League. Seattle Mariners won 116 in 2001. 0-2.
It has to be a consistent effort from everybody to pull off streaks like this. The defense, the pitching, the hitting, doing it in the clutch. It's been fantastic to watch and experience.
Camargo looks at strike three, and McCarthy carves him up to open the second with his first punch out.
Take a look at the Audi pitch cast here as Brandon McCarthy paints the outside corner. It was a wide brush.
Well done. You're well rested.
Oh. The beaches in Hawaii do that for you.
Good to have you back, though. Mike Boltonevich takes a strike.
It was fun to watch from afar, though, to listen to you and Nomar and Alana and to watch the games and really get a sense not only of the ability of this team, but the mental toughness of this team. We just saw it day in and day out.
So it kind of popped off the screen for you, right?
It did for me, because it just seeing the television coverage, and as we do the games, we watch the game and then we look at our monitor off and on. I've just had the television monitor, of course, and the close-ups of the faces, and they're locked in, and the mental discipline and the body language of every single Dodger was absolutely amazing to me. They have really sold out to execution over results. You just don't see their mannerisms change in the midst of, oh, slider low and away. Yasiel Puig, when he hit the big home run in Miami with 2 strikes on him and 2 outs. Absolutely amazing how he was mentally still locked in after thinking he got a bad call from the home plate umpire that put him behind in the count slightly. But he locked back in and got back in the box and didn't change his stance and focused on the moment and executed. It was a lot of fun to see a whole bunch of guys on this team really crossing over the bridge of being daily professionals.
Here comes an 0-2. And back-to-back Ks to open the second for McCarthy.
Chase Utley has really made a huge impact on this team, and so have the Turner Wards, and of course Dave Roberts and the whole coaching staff. But the work ethic and the daily mental discipline that he has exhibited while being here and as a Dodger, and then Dave Roberts and the staff picking up on that and continuing it on a daily basis, it looks now that it's really coming natural to a majority, if not all, the players.
Top of the order for the Braves, Ender Inciarte. Singleton scored his first time. Laid on this one, strike 1. There are people in the Dodger front office that will tell you, obviously it's easy to draw the line at when kind of the culture began to turn around with when Dave Roberts was hired at the beginning of the 2016 season, but there are people that'll tell you it goes back a little before that, when Chase Utley was acquired from the Phillies the previous August. And then the same message came in from Dave Roberts. He talked about Chase Utley being a guy that plays with grit. Well, that was the word Dave always used to describe his style as a player, and he's wanted his team to take on that personality too. McCarthy with a chance to strike out this side after the Rocky first inning. Ball 1. Inciarte really choking up with 2 strikes. 2-2. He offered. And McCarthy, after allowing 2 runs on 4 hits in the first inning, strikes out the side in the second. 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the second. Welcome you inside, Joe and Oral, and a 2-1 deficit, but some encouraging signs the first time around.
Yeah, you know, for me, Brandon McCarthy giving up the 2 runs, he's out there kind of feeling through his new mechanics, but then to come out and really lock in and go, I'm comfortable, and attack, that was a really good sign. And, of course, the offense coming right back at him and cutting the lead in half.
Bottom third of the order here in the second. Jock Peterson takes ball 1. Dodgers left him at second and third in the first inning, but did get a run. Seager doubling and eventually scoring on a base hit from Cody Bellinger. Poked foul, 1-1. Peterson off of the bench in last night's game with the left-handed starting pitcher in Carlos Rodon. He was 0 for 4 in Chicago, but a pair of 2-hit games in Miami. Facing an overshifted infield and taking ball 2. Mike Foltynewicz, former first-round pick of the Houston Astros. That's popped up. And one of those 3 guys on the right side of the infield will take it. Brandon Phillips for the first out. Foltynewicz made his debut with Houston a few years after they drafted him out of their bullpen. And then was traded to Atlanta for Evan Gattis in 2015, and now in his 4th year with Major League time. And we set off at the top. He is built on what was right around an average year last year by league numbers to be pretty dominant at times this year. With 1 out, here's Puig. A missile off a bounce at short. Camargo. What a play for the second out.
This is a very sweet play. You know, big leaguers actually are seeing that. That is not lucky. That is soft hands and tremendous eye-hand coordination.
For a guy that has taken some playing time away from Dansby Swanson, the former first overall pick that the Braves got from Arizona. Ball 1 on McCarthy. There's Swanson, 2 for his last 28. And is losing some time to Camargo. One and 2. It's a 9-pitch second inning for Mike Foltynewicz. Dodgers down in order in a 2-1 game.
17 is out now for Xbox One, PS4, iOS, and Android. Enjoy fast-paced pick-up-and-play MLB action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Your breakout MLB season is here. You better come ready to play. Learn more at rbigame.com.
Brandon Phillips ready to lead off this inning with his 3-year-old son, Micah Phillips. Best seat in the house in the on-deck circle. Got to have a chat with Dad before he goes up to lead off the inning. Apparently, Micah, his son, who's only 3, already takes one heck of a batting practice.
A lot of good examples around the house.
That's for sure. Long lineage of athletes in that Phillips family. From Micah to his dad Brandon to Brandon's parents. They're both big athletes. Dad played college football. Mom played college basketball. Swings away at the first pitch and flies it to right. Puig a long run, won't get there, and Phillips can run for days. Puig digs it out, and Phillips starts this inning with a triple. Micah loves it.
Freddie Freeman.
Mike only knows that it's a triple, but Dad knows he didn't hit it real well, but he hit it in the right place. And this ball slicing from a right-handed hitter away from Yasiel. He tries desperation attempt to keep the ball in front of him. First the catch and then try and keep it in front of him. None of it works out the Dodger way. And Brandon Phillips, no matter how fast you are, you're going to make it to third.
Michael was waving him. So the leadoff man at third, and Freddie Freeman, who banged a base hit to right to bring home the Braves' first run, takes ball 1. Freeman was having an MVP caliber season before he fractured his wrist. That was in May, missed 7 weeks, and came back on the 4th of July, which was a few weeks earlier than anybody had expected. He muscles one into right center, his second RBI in the first 3 innings, and Atlanta leads 3-1.
Brandon Phillips gets the jog by his son.
They blow him a kiss.
Freddie Freeman, for having wrist problems and being out for so long, sure has not hurt his power or his ability there to get the hands in on an inside pitch.
Brings up Matt Kemp. The man at first and nobody out. Here comes McCarthy. Kemp fouls it off, strike 1.
That's got to feel really good on a mask that just had a root canal.
Oh,
that's my. Just the vibration, please. I hope I'm still numb.
on the ground, should be 2. There's 1 and 2. Oh, 4-6-3 wipes him clean. 2 gone here in the 3rd. Well, the base is empty and 2 out. Here's Adams, and a fascinating thing has happened in conjunction with that Freeman injury. Adams is now the first baseman, and Freeman is playing third. So the day after Freeman fractured his wrist, Atlanta made a really under-the-radar trade to get Matt Adams from St. Louis, and he has torn the cover off the ball ever since arriving. So Freeman hustles to get ready, plays in just 2 rehab games. When you know, I guess. And he said he was ready to go. It was his idea to come back as a third baseman, even though that's something he's never done. Knew that he couldn't take Adams' bat out of the lineup the way he was swinging it. That's 2 balls, 1 strike.
That's a guy whose priorities are to win.
And
to not think about his personal preference of where he wants to play. And Atlanta going through a transition, trying to find a formula and personnel to form a winning team.
And he will be part of it. Signed a franchise record 8-year, $135 million contract that has him wrapped up through 2021. We saw last night Tim Anderson. They consider him the cornerstone of the White Sox rebuild. Same thing with Freddie Freeman in Atlanta. The 2-2.
It's a subtle piece of leadership from Freddie Freeman too, to be that unselfish. It gives you a voice in the locker room, the ability to really impact your teammates, and an example for management if they ever want to move somebody else or ask somebody to do something that's slightly out of character.
And speaking of moving somebody else, the thought then became, okay, well, he'll play third until they find a home for Matt Adams. They can flip him with the trade deadline approaching, but they have Adams under control for another year. And so the latest word is that Atlanta plans to keep him. Another 2-2. Another foul ball.
A little bit of feast or famine for Brandon McCarthy. The first inning, a little rocky. The second inning, perfect with the 3 strikeouts, and now a little rocky here.
Gets him to chase. Strike 3. Braves get another. A leadoff triple from Phillips. Freeman drives him home to the bottom of the 3rd. Dodger Stadium, and aren't they all? Dodgers down 3-1. The Braves getting 2 in the first and 1 in the 3rd. Dodgers lone run coming in the first inning. Foltynewicz with a 1-2-3 second, and now the second time through the order. Chase Utley grounded to first his first time. Takes strike 1. Foltynewicz home with an 0-1. Breaking balls hit gently foul, and it's 0-2. We're talking about some of the dominance that Foltynewicz has shown this season. Took a no-hitter into the 9th inning in a start against Oakland at the end of June. And they say that he lost it partially because of a call that he thought was strike 3. It's called a ball. 1 pitch later, a home run to break up the no-hitter. Matt Olson hit it.
You would think after 8 innings of no-hit ball that you'd earn that borderline strike.
Right? One and 2.
Emotional young man. He'll show his emotions on the mound and really working through the issue of being disappointed when an umpire gives him a rough call, or maybe somebody behind him makes an error. Trying to maintain his focus.
Strikes out Utley. His second of the game, 1 out, and he says that this turnaround for him, his career year, is as much about the mental side as it is anything physical that he's doing. And he has made strides in that regard, learning to calm down, learning to slow things down when they don't go right for him. With the bases empty and 1 out, here's Corey Seager. Doubled off the wall and left his first time. Extended his hitting streak to 10 games.
How can Corey Seager get lost in the shuffle of the Dodgers' success? But in some ways he has. Cody Bellinger in the headlines. Justin Turner with his batting average in the headlines. Yasiel Puig down there in the 8-hole doing his thing. Clayton Kershaw doing his thing. It's just absolutely amazing.
Little pop up into short left. Kemp's got it, 2 out.
It's the all-star force in the 2-hole that the Dodgers have, and he's just like a constant now. Instead of somebody that's unexpected, you just expect him to be a star.
And while Seager extended his hitting streak to 10 games his first time, Turner extended his on-base streak to 17 games with his first inning walk. Ball 1. Two and 0.
A 75% chance that you're going to get a fastball when Foltynewicz falls behind. Justin Turner could be sitting on the cheese.
But it missed.
It's still disciplined enough to take a ball. And that is where this Dodger lineup has been so effective. Building hitters counts, but then not chasing.
3-1. Yeah, they have the lowest chase percentage in the National League.
That is really tough on opposing pitching staffs. Make you work so hard if you can't expand the strike zone.
Five pitches. Turner's taken them all, and the count is 3-2 with the bases empty and 2 out, and a 3-1 game in the third. Foltynewicz home with a payoff, and Turner has his second walk in as many trips.
Great example to the young hitters on the Dodger team right there. A guy who's swinging a hot bat but doesn't have to swing it unless he gets the pitch he wants.
Bellinger drove in the Dodger run in the first inning. Yeah, bats here with 2 gone, representing the tying run in the third. Had one to hit and fouled it off. And that look on his face tells you that he knows that.
Low and in fastball for left-handed hitters. That's their sweet spot. Cody's no different than all the other lefties.
Coming back in there. It was up and fouled off, 0-2. Foltynewicz, a young guy himself, but he's still almost 4 years older than Bellinger. Gets him here with a sharp breaking pitch. And the inning is over. Dodgers get a 2-out base runner, but don't score. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica, the new benchmark of minivans, and by Jack in the Box. Come try the new sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Limited time only. 2 in the first and 1 in the third against Brandon McCarthy on 6 hits for Atlanta. Joe Davis, Orr Hershiser, Kelly Tennant on a perfect night here in Los Angeles, opening this 10-game homestand. He's 4 with the Braves, then 3 with the Twins, then 3 with the Giants. 6, 7, and 8 in the Atlanta order. Nick Markakis to lead it off. Strike 1. It's 1-1.
Brandon would like to go deep in this game. Give the bullpen a rest, but show that he continues to be consistent enough to get deep into the game. With those 50 pitches so far, he's got a chance to go 6 or 7. So many things with the Dodgers that are going so well that you just critique just the littlest things. And when you think about the rotation being as great as they are, the only thing to critique is, can they go deep into games? And they go 6 and 7 innings like Clayton and Alex Wood.
Hey, Andrew Toll's in the house. McCarthy to Markakis and a full count to open the 4th. Suzuki and Camargo to follow. Here comes a 3-2. Hit foul, do it again.
How about the narrative around LA that has completely changed from what are you going to do with all this talent and how are you going to negotiate the playing time, and you're going to have some guys that are upset to, oh my gosh, it's great to have all this talent. And boy, Dave Roberts in the front office has done a great job managing it and the egos and changing the culture. And now everybody looks forward to having more and more talent on the club.
It's poked foul. When you win 11 in a row and 31-35, it's hard to fuss about much. You know, if you're a guy who feels like you're maybe getting squeezed a little bit on playing time.
Well, it was a theme, you know, go back 3 years. It's been a theme since the new regime came in that, oh, there's going to be too much talent in the outfield. There's going to be too many guys looking for playing time and at bats. Won't be able to keep them hot. Dave Roberts talks about, I just want to keep him relevant. I want to keep this guy in there. And he used to have to give excuses on who's in the lineup and why and when. But now it's pretty much they know what they're doing and they select who gets to play, and everybody will play enough, and he'll keep them all hot, keep them all ready.
Markakis with a hard-earned walk to open this 4th inning. Time for the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Dodgers trying to win their 12th in a row. Right now tied for the longest winning streak in baseball this season. The Houston Astros had an 11-gamer from May into June, and as good of a year as Houston has had, the Dodgers have opened up a 3-game lead on them for the best record in the sport.
Was it about a month ago that the Dodgers were in 3rd place
in the division?
Yeah,
a month and a half.
And chasing Houston also, of course, when you have 2 teams in front of you in your own division, which was the strongest division in baseball.
Breaking ball for the strike on Kurt Suzuki. Colorado and Arizona are still the 2 wildcard teams as it stands right now, but the Cubs opening the second half 6-0 have charged right back into the picture, and not just in the wildcard picture, but the Brewers looking over their shoulder now. High fly ball to left field. Chris Taylor is running back on it to the track at the wall. It's gone. Kurt Suzuki with a 2-run homer, and the Braves have opened up a 5-1 lead.
It's Suzuki's 8th of the year, and the combination of Suzuki and Flowers behind the plate. Flowers has 7 home runs. Suzuki just broke that tie. Now 15 bombs coming from the catchers of Atlanta. A very successful combo.
Now Johan Camargo, strike one. Oh, and 2. Opposite field line drive base hit. That is already 8 of them for Atlanta today. Still nobody out here in the 4th.
So moving around and stretching down in the Dodger bullpen. I don't think the phone has rang yet, but guys are starting to kind of walk around. Brock Stewart in the foreground of your picture there.
Boltynewicz without a hit this season. And so he squares with a runner at first and nobody out. Takes ball 1.
This Dodger team has averaged over 5 runs a game here at home. Best home record in baseball. So looking at the scoreboard and thinking 5-1 only in the top of the 4th does not really put them in awe of like, oh, this game's in the tank.
Bunted back to the mound. McCarthy's got it. And Boltynewicz a successful sacrifice. Camargo into scoring position. Yeah, the Dodgers have lost 1 game in this park in the last 43 days. Haven't lost a National League game in this park in that span. You got to go back to early June to find the last time they lost a game to a National League team here. And they lost the back-to-back games to Washington.
Definitely an anomaly if something happens as far as the loss column here.
Inciarte is 1 for 2. A single in the first inning, a strikeout in the second. Strike 1. What a year Ender Inciarte's having. Second year in Atlanta, came over in the Shelby Miller deal, which was pretty much universally considered to be won by Atlanta. If not before, then definitely now, with Miller shut down for Tommy John. Slicing line drive to left center. Peterson won't get there. Camargo in to score. The Braves lead 6-1.
Inciarte came into the game with 121 hits, 3rd most in the major leagues, and already has 2 tonight. Second one there, not hit quite as hard as Rick Honeycutt on the horn to the bullpen to get some action.
Brandon Phillips, a triple and a run scored his last time. 9 hits already for Atlanta. And those 9 hits and only 3 1/3, that is a new season high against McCarthy. Josh Fields. a little bit jarring to the senses. You mentioned during the 11-game winning streak, they gave up a total of 22 runs. Didn't give up more than 4 runs in any of the 11 games. Right now down 6-1. One and one.
You fight the feeling on the Dodger bench now. Well, I guess we were due, you know, and this is one. But you know what? There's a lot of game left in this one. You don't let that feeling come in. And this team has been mentally disciplined enough to grind back. I'm going to need a shovel today to get out of this one, and it's going to be a big one, but they're definitely capable.
Among the leaders in all of baseball in comeback wins. A pop-up. Does Grandal have room? He does. And Phillips the second out.
Third baseman Freddie Freeman.
Brandon Phillips will have some explaining to his son to do with that pop-up.
The walk of shame right past Micah.
And you got to walk back by your 3-year-old in the front row after popping up.
I'm sure Micah's already forgotten the triple too. Freddie Freeman, strike one.
He looks like a strong 3-year-old. Got some muscles on him. You meet him and you automatically go, you're a big boy.
So he's buddies with Matt Kemp too. Nothing in 2.
Where his seats are, his dad's going to have to get him a pine tar rag, a Manny Mota stick, a donut. He's going to have a complete on-deck circle array of tools after sitting right there and staring at him all game.
Freeman down swinging, and the Braves done in the 4th, but not before they get 3 against McCarthy and open up a 6-1 lead. So far, it's time now for the Coors Banquet Timeless Moment. On this date in 1976, Hank Aaron, when he was with the Brewers finishing up his career, hit the final one of his 755 career home runs. It's in Milwaukee in a game against the Angels. Here's Chris Taylor taking ball one. 755. The home run was caught by a groundskeeper named Richard Arndt. It was his only year as a groundskeeper in Milwaukee. He kept the ball and later sold it for $650,000. Not a bad summer of work in Milwaukee for him. The 1-1. Taylor ropes one to left. That'll sink in for a base hit. And the leadoff man on here in the fourth.
Number 9, Yasmani Grandal.
Multi-hit games have become the norm for Chris Taylor. This one his first tonight after a fly out to center field. Trying to get the Dodgers kick-started back into this game.
Grandal gave it a ride his last time. It was to left and caught by Kemp. Pitch eats him up, fouled back, strike one. Bunts it up the third base side with a shift on. It rolls foul, strike two.
Yasmani had no idea he was going to throw the curve ball. He left it up for him, but he sure would have liked to have picked on a 95, 97-mile fastball when all he wants to do is block it down the third base line. A little more work to push that curve ball over there.
One and two. Taylor headed to second and in safely. With a little assist from Yasmani Grandal. It took a peek down and saw that Suzuki hadn't yet spotted it.
You have normal speed, it takes two reads, the ball in the dirt, and then how far does it get away? With Chris Taylor's speed, you only need one read, and that is it in the dirt? That's when he took off, when he saw that part of it. Didn't care that it was just right there laying at the umpire's feet.
Now Grandal pops it up and foul ground at third. Freeman over to give it a look. Out of room. So it stays at 1 and 2 on Yasmani Grandal. Nice road trip for him, and then he got to go home to Miami. And has some family in Chicago as well that he got to catch up with. Everybody happy to be back in Los Angeles, though, starting the longest homestand of the season. These 10 games over 11 days. They have been so good in this ballpark this year. Foltynewicz strikes him out with a fastball, one away.
Foltynewicz's average of the fastball when it's up in the upper third is not very good, almost 400, but when he gets it above the strike zone and guys chase, it's really hard to catch up to when it's at his velocity.
Got Peterson to pop up his first time. Foltynewicz only 25 still. Out of a town called Minooka, Illinois. Just outside of Chicago. You drive out of the city past Joliet. And you hit Minooka. So he grew up near Chicago. One of the big questions everybody asks there. Cubs or White Sox? His answer, Cardinals. Both his parents were Cardinal fans, and they passed that on to him. He grew up a diehard St. Louis fan, idolizing Albert Pujols. Peterson floats a pop up to left. Matt Kemp was playing very deep, and he's under it. 2 out. Foltynewicz yet to face Pujols.
Number 66.
Did you ever face an idol of yours?
Oh, a lot of the guys in the big leagues were all my idols.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, facing a Johnny Bench, facing Pete Rose, facing Mike Schmidt, those kind of guys from my generation, yeah, that it is an impactful moment to think I really have arrived.
Puig hit a bullet his first time, was robbed on a great play at short. And this time off the end of the bat on the right side of the infield, the leadoff single, but nothing else. On to the fifth with the Braves in front, 6-1. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Get the Toyota truck of your dreams at Toyota's Summer Drive Sales Event, and by the Emoji Movie in theaters July 28th. Not a good night for Brandon McCarthy. Gives up to 6 runs on a season-high 9 hits over 4 innings and leaves the Dodgers down 6-1. Who's in, who's out? Brought to you by In-N-Out. It is Luis Avilan replacing him.
Well, Luis probably just get 1 inning of work. Brandon McCarthy's spot. Now Luis Avilan's spot up, leading off the next inning. It was nice to see Brandon McCarthy's fellow starters giving him a little emotional support as he gets taken out of this game. Clayton Kershaw is always there by his side, and Rich Hill went through a little bit of the yips earlier in the year with his control issues, and kind of can relate to Brandon's struggles and wanting to get back and be dominant.
Middle part of the order for Avilan. Matt Kemp to lead it off, then Adams, then Markakis. So Avilan facing his former team. Debuted with the Braves in 2012, was there through 2015 when he came over in the same deal that brought Alex Wood. Strike 1 on Kemp. Avilan signed with the Braves when he was 16, 2005, out of Venezuela. Six years before that, he was 10 years old, and his dad decided to take him and a couple friends to an exhibition game in their hometown of Caracas, Venezuela. That exhibition game was between the Rays and the Braves. And so Luis became a big Braves fan when he was a kid. Gently hit foul, and it's 1-2. Another guy from Caracas, Venezuela, Andres Galarraga, at the time was playing for the Braves, and so everybody there was rooting for Atlanta, and Luis was easily on that train. He knew who Galarraga was. Became a big Braves fan, and then they signed him 5 years after that, 5 or 6 years after that trip to the ballpark with his dad.
Galarraga was a giant of a man, just a great player.
Gets him swinging with a fastball at 92 for the first out of the 5th.
First baseman Matt Adams.
Dodgers with plenty of left-handers that can get right-handers out. Avilan really good against righties because of that excellent changeup.
One out, and he goes to work against Matt Adams. Pulled on a bounce to first, and on one pitch, he gets out number 2. Avilan had a really huge debut with Atlanta in 2012. He said that was despite feeling truthfully a little shy, a little bit scared when he came up. 31 games in that rookie season, had an ERA of 2. And then the following year, he was even better. 5-0 record. A 152 earned run average in 75 games. So it's not like this is a small sample size. A 2-year stretch there he was one of the top left-handed relievers in all of baseball. Nick Markakis takes ball 1.
The speculation around the trade deadline of what the Dodgers might be looking for, a lot of it has been talked about, of maybe a left-handed specialist that really can dominate left-handed hitters. If I was a lefty in the Dodger bullpen, I would take that as a challenge, as there is a job opening in some ways, and it might be able to be filled in-house. Avilan right there throwing his breaking ball to Markakis. He could start to command that on the outer half of the plate, throw it for a strike, and then throw it for a ball. It would help that equation.
A 2-0. Ball 3. Grant Dayton getting activated tonight. As Kelly told us off at the top, with Sergio Romo designated for assignment. Dayton's a guy who was a dominant left-hander for the Dodgers for the second half last year and into the postseason. 3-1.
Really looking for that guy that can come in and take the opposing manager and put him in a vice. You know, he's either got his lefty up there that just he has to hit against left-handers because he's such a high-quality piece, and you've got somebody that can dominate him, or that you can bring in that lefty that dominates left-handers, and you just take moves and really put them on your side of the equation with Dave Roberts.
Full count. And Dave Roberts is a former left-handed hitter himself. He knows what it feels like to have a guy coming in that is hard on lefties from the left side. It is not comfortable.
And it changes games because it's probably going to be bases loaded, 1 out, bases loaded, 2 out, second and third, 1 out. You need a strikeout. It's not going to be just your everyday situation.
Avilan makes the catch, staggering off of the mound to work a 1-2-3 5th inning. Halfway home at Dodger Stadium in a 6-1 game.
July 24th at the 7:10 game against the Twins as they face off with those Dodgers in a 3-game series. Be one of the first 40,000 fans to take home a replica Justin Turner jersey. Compliments of United Healthcare. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Number 1 fan out there in the pavilion taking this one in as Logan Forsythe takes a strike. Pinch hitting in the pitcher's spot. Really been good over the last month, Logan has. Foltynewicz deals him in 0-1. That spins away 1-1. The average trying to climb its way out of the cellar. The on-base percentage has been at least respectable all year. Pretty darn impressive lately.
He and Turner Ward have been grinding on his initial movements as the ball is in flight. Combination of the leg kick and the hands and how the shoulders work. Nothing where they're reinventing the wheel, but more, I think, just refining what he's doing well right now.
Leading off the 5th inning and running a full count, as he so often has done. Lately, it's leading to more walks. When he wasn't doing well, it was leading to a lot of strikeouts. It's good to work full counts, but obviously puts you in a lot of 2-strike counts. Bouncing ball at first. Adams has it. And Forsythe the first out of the 5th.
Second baseman, Chase Utley.
Top of the order, here's Utley. Well, the Dodgers only got 1 run in that first inning against Foltynewicz, but there were some promising signs. They had 2 really hard hit balls. They had a walk. Left runners at 2nd and 3rd, but he has buckled down since then. A walk from Turner, a single from Taylor. All the Dodgers have managed in 3+ innings since. One and 0.
The report on Foltynewicz was that the fastball was pretty straight, but I'm seeing some life there tonight. There's a little bit of tail in there, and he's been able to kind of run it in on lefties. Pretty good action for 96, and I can see with that kind of tail where he'd want to keep it down around the knees and then be able to go up the ladder. But the real key for him is going to be commanding that curveball, because that'll give him that huge change of speeds. If he can go 95, 97 and then drop down to 78 or 80 with the curveball, that is going to really be a conundrum to the hitters.
Here he comes with the 2-1. Utley hits it foul. It's 2-2. He really has turned into the ace of this staff. It's not Julio Teheran necessarily anymore. Last year was disappointing for Teheran. This year's not been a ton better. Foltynewicz has taken off.
What I'm seeing with my own eyes tonight, you on TV, this would be one of the untouchables as far as Atlanta Braves personnel.
Full count.
If he can harness this ability, he is an ace in waiting, or an ace in training. Give him a changeup and he'll look like Max Scherzer.
Yeah. Some resemblance there already.
A little bit.
A payoff pitch. Utley turns on it and crushes it foul.
When I first saw him and throwing the ball in the first inning in warm-ups, I started thinking Jack McDowell from the Chicago White Sox. Tall and lean, and kind of that wiry fastball that comes right at you. Then can he throw the breaking ball with it?
Chase Utley making him work. Pitch count still very much under control, though. This will be the 70th. Braves bullpen is one that you want to get to. It's not been very good this year by any measure. another 3-2. High fly ball to right center field. Markakis back on it. Chase Utley hits one off the wall. It's a one-out double. Just barely missing, getting out of the yard.
Time now for our take it slow with Kona, and Chase Utley never takes it slow. You have to force him into slow motion. He is always hustling, not observing this ball, but thinking double all the way, and the wall ball becomes a two-bagger.
And an RBI chance for Corey Seager. Dodgers trying to chip away and set up an opportunity against the bullpen in the late innings of this game. Seager right now swinging it as impressively as he has all year, and that's saying something. Strike one. Foltynewicz pitching him backwards, recognizing how dialed in he is. You see him driving balls the other way the way he has the last two nights. The opposite field home run after fouling off 5 pitches in a row from a lefty, and then a double the other way tonight. You know that he's in a good place. The 1-1. Other way again, but foul. 1-2. Utley at second with one out. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Seager strikes out on a pitch that disappears for out number 2.
Talk about how Siegs is so locked in, and then to make him miss a ball by this much tells you how good that slider is.
Strikeout number 5 for Foltynewicz, and it's up to Justin Turner, who has walked both times. Six pitches in his last trip up there. He took all 6. Swings away here. Strike one.
Dodgers in need of a 2-out RBI. Gain some momentum. Put a little pressure on the Atlanta Braves and their bullpen, which will be looming here in another inning or so.
Yeah, 5-run game, but doesn't that feel like an important run out there?
It sure does. You drive that run in, and then all of a sudden Bellinger steps up there. It could be a close game in a hurry.
Ball on a strike.
You could have 3 runs and 2 swings. Okay, 4 runs and 3 swings. Our director Dustin Denty just rubbing it in that there's another story behind the on-deck hitter.
You can rub that in all he wants. A 1-1. Tails up. 2-1. Well, you're right though about the scouting report being a flat, straight fastball. I hadn't seen one that has been flat or straight.
Unless he's changed the grip in between starts and is fooling people to now throwing a 2-seamer, or maybe change the grip or some grip pressure. I see a running fastball that's got a lot of life.
I think we got a bad scouting report. A 2-1. Chased here, 2-2.
Light bulbs can go on at any time. He had one the last time he was in California. That's when he had the no-hitter through 8. These are the first pitches he's thrown in the state of California since that game.
It was in Oakland. Final day of June. Utley doubled off the wall with 1 out. He's still at second with 2 gone. And a 2-2 to Justin Turner. Pulls one to short. Camargo's got it. Inning over. Dodgers unable to take advantage of the Utley double and still trail 6-1. third and 3 in the fourth tonight for the Braves. Dodgers getting their lone run in the first inning. Brandon Morrow, after Luis Avilan handled the fifth, on for the sixth.
McCarthy, Avilan, now Morrow. He had Chicago off. 2/3 inning on Sunday in Miami, and just looking for a scoreless frame here for the Dodgers to set the table in the next inning and maybe get some runs and climb back into this one.
Morrow is perfect in his first 11 games as a Dodger, but has given up runs in 3 of his last 5 outings, including on Sunday in Miami and his last outing. Face off for the bottom part of the order here. Kurt Suzuki, one of the key swings tonight, a 2-run homer against McCarthy in the fourth. Strike one. Only the 6th game that he's played in here in July as we look at our Cardinals cam. And he has a hit in all 6.
In some ways, like the Dodgers with Yasmani Grandal and Austin Barnes, when you have a combination of catchers, you might find more offense in that position. The wear and tear wouldn't be there as much when you've got somebody kind of helping you with the workload, and a lot easier to hit when you got your legs under you. Combination of Grandal and Barnes has been very effective for the Dodgers, and Flowers and Suzuki have done a nice job for the Braves.
Morrow home with an 0-2. Fastball tomahawked on the ground to third. Turner's got it. One gone.
A little bit of a stumble over there for Justin, but understanding who the runner is, ends up taking his time to regain his balance as he tries to get to his feet.
Shortstop, Yohan Camargo.
Nice, easy, non-panic throw.
With one out and the base is empty, here's the 8-hitter, Yohan Camargo, who is hitting above .430 over the last 12 games. Pops the first pitch up that he sees. 2 up, 2 down. We were talking before the game today. Who would you label as the second most reliable Dodger reliever right now behind Kenley Jansen? Brandon Morrow, even though he's given up runs in a few of his last 5 outings, you would have to put him in that conversation. You get strike one on Fulton-Evich. Obviously, Pedro Baez belongs in that conversation.
I think Josh Fields probably belongs in the conversation. There's quite a group there that, you have 1A, who's really off the charts, and Kenley Jansen and what he is doing for the Dodgers and all around baseball right at the top of the heap. But the crew right behind him, the reason that bullpen is #1 in the National League in earned run average and a lot of other categories, is because there's just a solid group of a whole bunch of #2s.
On 7 pitches, Morrow has a 1-2-3-6. Let's see if the offense can get it going in a 6-1 hole. earlier today. What's going on, Kelly Tennant?
Hey guys, I wanted to tell you about an awesome event that is coming up on October 1st right here at Dodger Stadium. It's the Dodgers Foundation New Balance 5 and 10K Kids Fun Run presented by Gazillion Bubbles. You get to come around here, run around the stadium. You get tons of cool prizes and giveaways. You even get a very fancy medal like this, so I can pretend that I already ran it. But make sure you bring your kids. Go to Dodgers.com/run. Use the code Dodgers to get $5 off for that promo code. And we hope to see you all here.
All right, Kelly. Got a couple changes for you. Dansby Swanson in the game at short. And Johan Camargo slides over to second, replacing Brandon Phillips.
With Camargo at second, that might be the strongest arm in the big leagues at second base. Be ready, Matt Adams.
Yeah.
It's a howitzer from close range.
Hopefully he's got a changeup.
Yeah.
Cody Bellinger, middle part of the Dodge order here in the 6th. Takes ball 1. Dodgers 1 run on 4 hits. That run came in from Bellinger on an RBI back in the 1st. 2-0. Foltynewicz at 81 pitches. He's thrown at least 100 in 7 of his last 11 outings. Season high is 119, and he did that in the game where he took the no-hitter into the 9th. Bellinger bunts one. A big bounce. Foltynewicz, a bare hand play to get him. Only chance that he had. And shows off nice athleticism for the first out of the 6th.
Got his sacrifice bunt down when he was batting, and now showing that he can throw a wrong foot play as a pitcher like a third baseman would, charging in on the bunt. Bellinger trying to beat the shift, doesn't get it over to the third base line, but finds himself an athletic pitcher out there with a very nice play.
With 1 gone, Chris Taylor, who is 8 for his last 11. Ball 1.
That play by Foltynewicz, if I was in Braves management, I would be talking about that. Gives me a lot of hope that he's going to find a consistent delivery and really understand how to pitch. Because one of the things of pitching consistently is being a great athlete and understanding your body and having great body awareness. And the fact that he got his bunt down, made that play right there, it tells me there's a lot of athleticism in that body, and he's not a one-dimensional athlete.
Taylor towards left center field, and another multi-hit game for Chris Taylor. It's a double. My gosh.
Put him anywhere in the lineup, and he hits anywhere in the lineup. You need him at the top of the order, put him there. You need him in RBI position, put him there. Some other guys are starting to get really hot. Put him down at the bottom of the order and lengthen your lineup.
9 for his last 12.
Dodgers looking to get somebody past second base. Stranded Utley there last inning. Now that 21st double of Taylor's they don't want to waste.
Got a runner in 5 of the 6 innings. And all fouls it off, strike 1. That was one of the things on Tuesday night in Chicago. The Dodgers won a 1-0 game, but they had opportunities to get a whole lot more than that. They stranded 11. Dave Roberts was not happy with their approach. Had a good response last night, the 9 runs. Here's Grandal drilling a ball right center field. Yasmani Grandal hits it out of here. Root canal in the morning, big league home run at night. Just like that, it's a 3-run game.
He's locked in on how far he hit it too, boy. He stayed in the box a little while and admired this one. Measures up the breaking ball, stays there, and he knew exactly that this was going out for sure. I think it hits the top of the wall.
Yeah.
Watch this. Oh yeah, I knew it was out. probably hit it really hard, but it had some top spin.
Right.
And that's why he was a little off.
Going all Michael Jordan on the Braves tonight. We're going to get more details on this root canal as this week goes on. That's legendary stuff to come back and hit a home run. Yasmani Grandal homers to make it 6-3, and now Jock Peterson out in front of a breaking pitch, 0-1. Fly to left, Matt Kemp. 2 gone.
Right field. Yes,
Action down in that Atlanta bullpen. Sam Freeman getting loose. They're down near the bottom of the National League in earned run average and strand percentage. Coming out of that pen, and at the back end of it, Jim Johnson, a guy that the Dodgers had for a short time in 2015. He is now back in Atlanta. He's the closer, and he's blown 7 saves, the most in the majors. Strike 1 on Yasiel Puig. One and one.
If you're the Braves and you're in California and the Dodgers, the way they swing the bats, you think, is that a pre-shock to an earthquake? Because all of a sudden, here they come and they're within reach.
Two and one on Puig, and with the pitcher's spot due next, Trace Thompson has stepped into the on-deck circle. On 2-1. Ball 3.
A little extra effort right there coming out of his rhythm. The home run has made him think that he needs to try harder when he just needs to trust his ability out on the mound.
Perfectly placed. Full count. A 3-2 to Puig. Bouncing ball towards the middle. There's Camargo with a strong arm at his. A low throw dug out, and the inning is over. But Yasmani Grandal hits a 2-run home run, and the Dodgers go from a 5-run deficit to within 3 out of the late innings.
Tonight on an all-new Backstage Dodgers, follow the Dodger All-Stars to Miami for the 2017 Midsummer Classic. Plus, Kenley Jansen takes over the backstage camera to catch Cody Bellinger in action at the Home Run Derby. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Hankook Tires, tonight after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
7th inning, new game after the Grandal home run. 6-3 the score, and Brandon Morrow's job becomes amplified, trying to keep it right here. He'll face the top of the order with Ender Inciarte leading it off. And his first pitch of the inning is pulled on the line. One pitch, one out. Bellinger squeezes it. So that's 8 pitches to get the first 4 outs for Morrow. Which is interesting because he doesn't necessarily have pitch to contact stuff.
But he is throwing strikes, and they don't want to fall behind and face something other than that first one if they're catching up to it. But you're right. I was just sitting here wondering after Yasmani's home run, I wonder who's scheduling a root canal for tomorrow on the team.
Yeah, right. Dansby Swanson, former top overall pick. Same trade that brought the man that led off this inning, Ender Inciarte, to the Braves, brought Swanson from Arizona. Those two came over along with Aaron Blair, who is rumored to perhaps be starting tomorrow if Jaime Garcia is indeed dealt, and it sounds like he may be to the Twins. All those guys came over in the Shelby Miller deal a couple years back. Swanson right now a big disappointment in his first full season. 2 for his last 28. 1-2. He's in the game because Brandon Phillips, Braves are telling us, has right hamstring tightness.
Micah worrying about Dad and maybe getting a text message about his health.
Here comes Morrow with a 1-2, and Swanson fouls it back. Swanson went to Vanderbilt. How cool for him, though. He's a Marietta, Georgia native that grew up a Braves fan. Got to make his major league debut with the team he grew up rooting for. And did well, hit above 300 after his call-up last year. 218 right now, though. 2-2. Morrow strikes him out with 99 over the outside half.
Take a look at the Volkswagen replay on this dotted I on the outside corner. Big shutdown inning in the midst here for Brandon Morrow. 2 up, 2 down. Get the bats back in there and keep them hot.
Another good night for Freddie Freeman. 2 RBI singles. 1-0. 27 years old. Already his 7th year as an everyday big leaguer. Major league debut when he was 20, September of 2010. 1 ball and 1 strike. We mentioned that it was his idea to move to third. He had played third base in high school, but the last time that he'd played at third, 5 games in rookie ball, 10 years ago. And he's gone over there and by all accounts been pretty good. 1-2. Speaking of pretty good, a pitch from Morrow.
Bottom fell out of that one. The direction he moved was the hard direction to go from first to third. A lot of third basemen can say, yeah, I'll toggle over to first.
Hard hit, but Chase Utley's there. 6 up and 6 down for Brandon Morrow, maintaining the momentum after the Grandal home run. We stretch in a 6-3 game. On Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Carl's Jr. Jalapeno double cheeseburger, only $2.49 at Carl's Jr. Away we go with the bottom of the 7th. Austin Barnes pinch hitting. Took a fastball high, and now the 1-0. That's outside. 2-0. So they bring Barnes up there to lead off this 7th inning. Top of the order due next. And Boltynewicz bearing down on 100 pitches. 3-0. 25 come from behind wins this season. They trailed this one 6-1 until Yasmani Grandal clubbed a 2-run homer last inning. Strike one.
Stretch Boltynewicz as far as you can with the bullpen behind him. That has not been very good for the Braves.
On the 100th pitch, Austin Barnes clubs a bouncer. There's Freeman at third for the first out. And that looks like it will be it. Brian Snitker, 62-year-old manager of the Atlanta Braves. Impressive stuff tonight from the 25-year-old right-hander. Turns it over to the bullpen. Back in a moment. Rex Brothers, who is signed to a minor league contract this offseason, called up from AAA at the end of June and on to face Kike Hernandez, who Dave Roberts counters with the left-handed pitcher now on the mound. And Kike coming off one heck of a performance yesterday. Take a look at the Arco top-tier play. His 2 home runs off of Carlos Rodon. He's been tinkering with his swing, working on a few mechanical things, and it clicked for him last night.
He has always had lightning in his hands. It's been about contact, and PK is really starting to find it this year. He was definitely in a slump before those 2 home runs, but continued to have tremendous potential, and the Dodgers are trusting that he will find it.
So pinch hitting for Chase Utley here in the 7th inning in a 3-run game. Brothers' first one. Line to center. On comes Inciarte to make the catch. PK squared it up again, but Inciarte took it away. 2 gone.
Shortstop number 5, Corey Seager.
It doesn't feel good without the results, but the execution was there for Kike, and should go back to the bench with still a lot of confidence that he's finding good things in that swing.
Braves get Corey Seager how they'd prefer. That is with the bases empty and 2 gone. Corey has a 3 home run game this year. He had a 3 home run game last year against Atlanta. Strike 1. Outside corner for strike 2. Brothers his first 5 seasons with the Rockies, and then was in spring training with the Cubs last year. They released him, and he spent all of last year out of baseball. No serious injuries, but some nagging shoulder pain that he spent the summer rehabbing, and then signed that minor league contract this offseason. That's a ball. It's 1-2. Back in a ballpark where he's been fantastic. Pitched here a bunch when he was with the Rockies, and in 19 games at Dodger Stadium, he's given up 1 run. Gets Seager to chase for strike 3. So Rex Brothers comes on, gets Hernandez and gets Seager. I think he's got them all. Dodgers and Twins. First 40,000 fans in attendance get a Clayton Kershaw bobblehead from Pirelli Tire. A hitting Kershaw bobblehead. Dodgers.com/promotions to learn more. Austin Barnes, for the 8th time this season, plays second base after pinch hitting last inning. Yasmani Grandal remains in catching. Chase Utley's the man that comes out. Brock Stewart, untouched in his 5 appearances this season, comes on.
Brock continues to show that he is healthy and that he is a big leaguer. Made great strides coming back from the bad shoulder. Really not showing any worse wear as far as the long layoff and the rehab.
Matt Kemp goes after the first pitch on a bounce. Corey Seager. Wow.
Austin Barnes at second base proving more valuable than Kike Hernandez. So the security blanket as far as the catching duties is still on the field, not just a pinch hitter.
Base is empty, 1 gone. Here's Matt Adams. RBI doubled in the first inning, nothing since. 1-0. Dodger fans have nightmares about Matt Adams. 3-run home run against Clayton Kershaw, game 4 of the NLDS. 2-0.
It's amazing how an at-bat, a moment in the playoffs, will mark a player against the fan base.
Yeah.
I'm sure Oakland A fans don't feel too good about Kirk Gibson.
Or you.
Well, Kirk for sure in that one moment. He changed the whole World Series, even though it was game 1.
Left over the plate and looped into right for a base hit. Adams with a 1-out single.
Adams hasn't hit the ball hard, but it's caused some damage, that single. And then the slicing little fly ball in the first inning off of Brandon McCarthy easily could have been an out if it was hit near a fielder, but turned out to be some RBIs.
Well, what a find he's been for Atlanta. Here's Markakis. Really, for Adams, it's his first chance to play every day since that season that he hit the grand slam or the game-winning home run against Kershaw. A few years back when he was the everyday first baseman, but no longer was the case, and so St. Louis is happy to deal him for a lower-level minor leaguer. That was after he worked really hard in the offseason to change his body, shed 30 pounds. Stayed in St. Louis during the offseason to work with a trainer that he had developed a good relationship with, really trusted. Completely new workout plan, completely new diet. Did a lot of Pilates and reshaped his body. Even began playing the outfield some for the Cardinals. Strike 1.
A lot of high-level offensive players have been given up on. Justin Turner at third for the Dodgers. Chris Taylor in left field, given up by Seattle. And Matt Adams be one that was given up by the Cardinals too early. It's not like the Cardinals were an offensive juggernaut this year.
No.
Their formula was not working.
St. Louis 46-48, but the Central so jumbled up. They're only 4.5 back. Brewers got to be freaking out right now. They've dropped 4 in a row. The Cubs have won 6 in a row, and it's down to a game and a half just like that. Stewart's 1-2, and Markakis takes ball 2. Brewers lost again tonight. That's 5 in a row. And the lead in the division down to 1. You know, with all those teams that overachieve, you kind of ask that, right? When are they going to come down to earth? And asking about it, the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, and the answer for them was right around the end of June, the beginning of July. And it looks like for the Brewers, it's the beginning of the second half. There aren't too many teams left where you wondered how in the world they were doing what they were doing that haven't come back yet. Just looking up and down the standings, maybe Tampa Bay would be one of those teams that's still playing well. It's a walk, 2 on with 1 out. Minnesota, they've come back to earth some, but still within a half game of the lead in the Central. Dodgers will see them starting Monday.
The team I'm thinking that might start creeping back up is Kansas City. They're only 1 game below 500. They haven't played well in their last 10 or so, but that's a very talented team. They keep them together for 1 more year, coming up to that deadline. Cleveland playing a little bit like themselves, but that division is pretty tight. Even Detroit now is only 5 out.
Yeah, they already waved the white flag, though, trading JD Martinez. But you're right.
That's surprising.
Here's Suzuki with 2 on and 1 out. Strike 1.
Too bad what happened to JD Martinez.
Jeez.
First pitch, was it?
First AB at least.
Yeah. Hit right on the hand. Did it break the wrist or just?
No, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
But still.
Wow.
Base hit to left. They will send Adams. Taylor's throw to the plate. Pulled down by Grandal to get him. Chris Taylor with an outfield assist. And Yasmani Grandal with a brave play to elevate with the big man Adams bearing down on him.
Well, Chris Taylor charges this ball like an infielder like he naturally is, but then shows off an outfielder's arm and accuracy. Yasmani Grandal appears to be blocking the plate, but when you're making a play on the ball and he is trying to attempt to grab the ball, he could end up anywhere. He doesn't have to give a corner of home plate then. He didn't plan himself and then try and block the plate. He went up, catch the ball, just happened to come down and block it.
With the old rule, that's a disaster for Grandal.
Oh, yeah, he just gets run over.
It's like Chris Taylor's his quarterback, and he hung him out to dry.
Well, they're going to review this, but I don't see any way that Yasmani cannot say, I've got to put my feet that way to be able to elevate. I've got to spread out to be able to jump. And then once I jump, I'm the one at risk, not the runner. He had a choice to grab a corner of the plate as I go up. This is where the instincts of playing the game kind of sometimes wrap themselves around the new rules.
Now the key is that you can't block the plate without the ball.
Exactly.
But he had the ball.
Hasn't.
Question will be, how do they handle the fact that he was kind of standing in front of the plate while he was waiting on the throw?
And for me, you know, as the athletes go, you don't like to jump with your feet together, so you like to give yourself a base to gain your balance so that you can elevate, and that's what it looked like he was attempting to do. He's making a play on the ball.
Yeah.
He had to get over there to jump. There's no way. He was going to give him a corner home plate when he was out in front, fair territory, and he just scooted over in front of the plate when he saw the angle of the throw.
You're right. You're right. He scoots over with the ball in the air.
Yeah. I do not see how they could rule against the Dodgers on that one. If they do, then the letter of the law is away from the spirit of the game.
He's out. Big play by Chris Taylor and Yasmani Grandal to get Matt Adams for the second out of the inning. And Brock Stewart's line still perfect on the season. It will be up to Camargo, 2 on and 2 out. And did I just hear from Todd Lights, PA announcer, call confirmed as opposed to just stands? 1-0. Dodgers will have Turner, Bellinger, and Taylor coming up in the bottom of the 8th inning. Trying to make some more magic. 2 balls, no strikes. Danny Santana in the on-deck circle.
That was just a huge play by Chris Taylor and Yasmani Grandal to keep the momentum. And Chris Taylor impactful with his bat, but also you think of him as, oh, that was a great play by a left fielder. Well, he's just a left fielder in transition, learning the position.
That's his 4th outfield assist, which leads the team.
That's amazing. That's third base coaches saying that's an infielder learning left field. We're going to push the envelope, and Chris Taylor says, not on me.
We need to rip the envelope open and change the message. Change the scouting report on Taylor in the outfield. That one falls off the table. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hello to Brock's family back in Illinois, who got to catch up with him in Chicago this week. Anytime they can, they meet up with wherever the Dodgers are. Here he comes with a 2-2. Bouncing ball right side. It's deadened on the edge of the grass. No big deal for Barnes, and the inning is over. It remains a 6-3 game thanks to the stellar play of Chris Taylor. His 4th outfield assist. Heck of a play on the back end by Grandal, too.
Access Sportsnet Dodgers post-game presented by your Southern California Nissan dealers. The guys will have you covered in the studio, but Joe, here's what I'm wondering. Yasmani Grandal gets a root canal this morning, hits a home run, but is he going to be able to talk to me?
That is the main question. Hopefully we'll have plenty to talk about in the final inning and a half of this game. Arodys Vizcaino, filthy stuff. Just came off the DL though, and in his first game back, he gave up a run on 3 hits yesterday.
16 pitches yesterday, and he's going to have a fastball that hovers around 98 miles an hour.
Justin Turner leads off the inning and takes strike one, 97, tailing in towards his hands.
Justin will see mostly fastballs and curves.
Saw a fastball on the first one. Sees another, ball one. 2 walks tonight for Turner to extend his on-base streak to 17. Number 1 in the majors in average, number 1 in on-base percentage. And ahead 2-1. Bellinger and Taylor following the inning against a guy that Atlanta hopes really shows out over the next few days and could be on the move. Bring him back to a minor league piece. A 2-1. And a fly ball into center, and Ciarte runs it down.
First baseman number 35, Cody Bellinger.
So it's Bellinger with the bases empty. Ball one.
That's an easy 99 miles an hour. Not a lot of grunting going on out there by Vizcaino. It's just very natural.
From the Dominican Republic. Started his career with Atlanta. And then went to the Cubs. Back to Atlanta a couple of years ago on 2-0. Bellinger hits a high fly ball to left field. Matt Kemp has plenty of room. 2 up, 2 down.
Left fielder number 3, Chris Taylor.
Another multi-hit performance for Chris Taylor. Single and a double tonight. 9 for his last 12 now.
The batting average is on an escalator. 311 now, the 11 home runs, 40 RBIs. Didn't make the team out of spring training because he couldn't play the outfield. Now leads the team in outfield assists. It's quite a story.
Strike one. Virginia Cavalier. Even though his entire family Virginia Tech fans, a couple Virginia Tech grads in the family. He went the other way. Nothing in 2.
He is not late on 97. He is all over that pitch.
Vizcaino looking for a 1-2-3-8. Chris Taylor bounces it foul, and it stays at 0-2.
What was it Turner Ward said when he watches guys that are slumping a little bit? He just sees if they're still on time, even though they're not getting hits. Chris Taylor right there fouled off a 97-mile-an-hour fastball and then was not fooled on that breaking ball.
was on this one. Strike three. Vizcaino works a 1-2-3-8 through the heart of the Dodger order. On Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Big O Tires. For tires, service, and straight talk, go to Big O Tires, the team you trust. On this date in 1970, a day game here at Dodger Stadium in front of 12,000 people. Bill Singer no-hits the Phillies after he had missed 2 months early on in the season with hepatitis. 14 years in the majors, first 9 of those with the Dodgers after he debuted when he was only 20. And is most remembered for, besides that no-hitter, being the first guy to officially be awarded a save. The year that he became an official statistic, 1969, he relieved Don Drysdale in a game in mid-April. Closed it out, got the save. 6-3 game in the ninth. Danny Santana to pinch hit in the 9th spot against Brock Stewart, who tries to keep it right here and give the Dodgers a chance in the bottom half. Santana shows bunt, takes ball one. Ground ball to second. Austin Barnes has been busy since checking in last inning. 1 out.
Number 11, injured Inciarte.
Inciarte 2 for 4 tonight. Got off to a slow start this season after signing a big contract this offseason. And admitted that he was pressing, needed to chill. And since he has, he's taken off. One of the top averages in the National League over the last 2 months, around 350. Nice changeup.
Brock Stewart's #1 out pitch is that changeup. Still in development, the breaking ball, but it definitely has improved this year.
Back to the fastball, and he's ahead of Inciarte, 0-2.
Inciarte with his 37th multi-hit game tonight. He's second in the big leagues in multi-hit games coming into the night.
See if I can guess who. Altuve?
Yeah, I would think. I don't have the list right in front of me. I can find it out pretty quick, though. At my age, I shouldn't say pretty quick.
What should you say?
I'll get to it.
Answer is always close by these days.
I know, but that wasn't pretty quick so far.
You could have found it faster on your computer.
I'm into paper.
I see that.
and I'm fumbling.
Charlie Blackmon is the answer.
And he's still in second because Charlie's at 42. He's only at 37. Thank you, Brian Hagan.
Enciarte strikes out. 2 up and 2 down here in the top of the 9th inning. Tomorrow's probables brought to you by Mercedes-Benz and subject to change. It's been reported that Jaime Garcia is headed to Minnesota, so the Dodgers may see him, but it could be next week when the Twins come to town. And Alex Wood trying to continue on his 11-0 start.
Well, if Garcia is traded, whoever gets the spot start in his place does not win the lottery getting Alex Wood and getting this Dodger offense. That should be an adventure for that possible starter.
Dansby Swanson, strike 1.
Always more value when you're trading for a starting pitcher like Garcia that he can take the hill right away, that you don't have to wait 4 or 5 days for him to rest after trading for him. Squeak one more start out of him.
So you're saying there's a chance that he would start tomorrow for Minnesota?
Well, he could start the next day.
Okay.
Let's say they make the trade and they know, okay, we can slip him right in. But I don't think he would start for Minnesota unless they all of a sudden chartered a plane and got him out of here right after the game.
Right.
But there is a little bit more value, and the clock ticks a little quicker, and then you can wait 4 more days if he pitches tomorrow, before all of a sudden there's pressure again to kind of squeak out an extra start out of him.
Minnesota's at home against the Tigers starting tomorrow. Brock Stewart trying to work 2 scoreless innings. Here he comes with a 1-2 to Swanson.
Swanson doesn't look like he has a lot of rhythm in the batter's box. Doesn't look completely lost, but you talk about being on time or being comfortable, he does not look like that at all.
Barely got a piece here.
Just looks like parts are flying in all different directions when he goes to swing the bat. There's a shot of Kevin Seitzer, outstanding hitter in his own right, now a great hitting coach for the Atlanta Braves.
Grandal, Peterson, and Puig due up for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 9th inning. Likely against Jim Johnson, who is ready to go in that Braves bullpen. Another 1-2 from Stewart and another foul ball. The Dodgers have won 8 of the last 9 games in this park against Atlanta. The only guy to beat the Dodgers in a Braves uniform in that span, Alex Wood. 2015, before the Braves dealt him to the Dodgers. Ready to face his former team tomorrow night. Show them what they let get away. Been showing them all year.
Complete 3-pitch pitcher now, Alex Wood. Probably throwing the ball the best on the whole staff, including Jansen and Kershaw. Doesn't qualify for the ERA title yet, but we'll get there soon enough if he continues to go 6 and 7 innings every start.
First guy in Dodger history to start a season 11-0. Swanson pops it off the end of the bat. Bellinger's under it, onto the bottom of the ninth. Grandal, Peterson, and Puig coming up for the Dodgers, needing 3 for the tie and 4 for the win. Join us for Friday Night Fireworks presented by Denny's. Pyro show from the field. Enjoy dancing to Friday Night Fever Disco Mix. Go to Dodgers.com/promotions to learn more. So here we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Dodgers this season have 6 wins when entering the ninth inning trailing. They'll try to make it 7 against Jim Johnson, who for a short period of time in 2015 was a Dodger. Came over in the same deal that brought Alex Wood and was a disaster. Had an ERA above 10. And back to the Braves last season. Had a good year. This year not very good though. He's blown 7 saves, the most in the majors.
When he's good, the ball is moving and sinking and it's a strike. When he's bad, the ball is moving and sinking, but it's automatically a ball out of his hand and it's easy to take.
Dahl leads it off. Starts him with a curve for a strike. Johnson now 34 years old in his 12th big league season. Grandal shanks one down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Grandal on his way to second as it gets by Santana. No reason to continue. Leadoff double. It's a start.
As far as bleeders down the left field line, kind of balances the books for the Dodgers. Matt Adams in the first inning hit a ball like this that brought an RBI in against Brandon McCarthy. And now the Dodgers get a little head start because of that bleeder.
Jock Peterson now. And the corners of Dodger fans' mouths start to curl up a little bit. Start glancing at your buddies. Start texting your friends. Are you watching? Is it happening again?
Tilt your head, roll your eyes, and go, really?
Still plenty of work to do.
Well, this fan base has proven, or this team has proven that this fan base understands. Listen to this place.
Ball one.
And you know, as a player on the field, if a team is having a magical year and you're up against them, you can feel it. And you have to fight against it.
Peterson lines it to left. Santana makes a lunging catch. And for a moment takes the air out of the building. Matt Kemp doesn't make that play.
This ball falls in. This place is rocking. They still believe. Of the two balls hit to left, this one was hit better than Grandal's. This one just gets captured.
So Santana takes away a hit from Peterson, and Yasiel Puig comes up against Johnson. If he can reach, Austin Barnes would represent the tying run. One and oh. That's that sinker you're talking about. When it's not working, it's a pretty easy take right out of the hand.
When he was a Dodger in 15, it was the ball moved tremendously. He just couldn't throw it for a strike, and then when he elevated, it was pretty straight.
Puig helps him. 1-1.
Tenth man is definitely present here tonight in Dodger Stadium. This crowd is into this game, even down by 3 with 1 out here in the 9th.
They will really come unglued if Puig can get on. They bring the tying run up. 2-1.
This is where Johnson gets himself in trouble because he'll throw borderline pitches in hitters' counts, trying to avoid the bat, and if Puig can be disciplined enough, he'll put him on.
Three balls and a strike.
In some ways, I would dare him to throw 2 strikes.
Yeah.
If this is not right down the middle, exactly where you want it for Yasiel Puig, I think you have to take it. You got to keyhole him.
I was going to say automatic take you can. Swings away, ground ball to second. Camargo will throw him out.
It was right down the middle, and
was.
Yasiel hit it good. It just defense played perfectly. And if he was being disciplined enough to make him throw it in a spot, he hit the spot.
So up to Barnes to try and keep hope alive. 0 for 1 tonight. Pinch hit in the 7th. Hit it hard, but on the ground to 3rd. In front of 45,636 tonight. First game of this homestand. Dodgers down to their final out, trying to keep this 11-game winning streak going. Barnes in an 0-1 hole. Ball 1. It would be Trace Thompson if Barnes could keep it alive. Good take. 2-1. Two and two.
You can just see the ball straighten out on Johnson when he gets the ball up. The ball Yasiel hit was right down the middle, 3-1. That ball to Austin Barnes right down the middle.
Inside, full count.
It would just be fun to get the tying run to the plate.
They do. Austin Barnes, a 2-out walk. And Trace Thompson comes up representing the tying run.
Well-positioned fly ball, line out to left, a hard ground ball by Puig, and now a walk. It's not like this has been an easy inning for Johnson.
And it has not been an easy year for Trace Thompson, but when he was clicking last year, he was as clutch of a hitter as they had over the first couple of months. 2 walk-off home runs. Did it to the Mets, did it to the Rockies. One swing could even the issue here in the 9th. A breaking ball for strike 1. Barnes takes second without a throw.
Well, interesting because a base hit scores 2, and Trace Thompson would be on, and he can steal a base. You could get the tying run to second base with a base hit and a stolen base.
Saw Kenley Jansen just in case. Tying run up there with the Dodgers down to their final out. 1 ball and 1 strike. Johnson, nothing but bad memories in this place. And this crowd of more than 40,000 tonight doing its best to remind him of how good the Dodgers have been in these spots this year. Thompson hits a pop-up into short center field, and Ciarte's on. That ball is caught by Camargo to end the game. What a play. Johan Camargo, who started the game at short, moves over to second and saves the day for the Braves.
This prevents 2 runs from scoring and Corey Seager to come to the plate as the winning run, but Camargo ends the game with a spectacular play brought to you by Lexus. Wow.
So the Braves take the opener of this series, and the Dodgers' 11-game winning streak comes to an end. For Oral Hershiser, Kelly Tennant, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Stay tuned for Access Sportsnet, brought to you by your Southern California Nissan dealers.